respected chair of this session, dignitaries all around the world who are watching this session, my respected colleagues as well as fine speakers, a warm good afternoon to one and all. Today, this schedule of Global Ayurveda Festival is happening at a time when the entire world is focusing on Ayurveda for something which is very innovative. As all of us know, during the past decade, Ayurveda has grown leaps and bounds. And myself standing here as a president of Private Ayurveda College Teachers Organization, which is the collective mouthpiece of the Faculty of Ayurveda in the self-financing sector Ayurveda colleges throughout Kerala. I feel that as an academic community, we feel there is a growing demand or growing interest in Ayurveda from different sectors, even from the Western academics. But I fear actually that whether during the past decades, whether our academic system was fruitful enough to generate clinicians and doctors, scientists, etc., who are capable of delivering what that was needed globally. And we all know another fact that the author of Harrison's textbook of medicine, Professor Anthony S. Fauci, who was in charge of the war against COVID-19, along with the previous president of US, Donald Trump, they have miserably failed in the management of COVID-19 and had almost there happened in US approximately 552,000 deaths as per the statistics today. Whereas in India, we can see that irrespective of the population growth and least hygiene measures here, we have almost managed to reduce the death burden approximately to say 150,000 only. And what happened to the health sector, irrespective of all the technologies which were available around the globe, especially in very developed countries like US and UK, what happened there in the case of COVID-19 was actually an eye-opener to the entire globe. And moreover, throughout the globe, we can see that the simple morbidity presentation is on less, and more patients are presenting day by day with complex morbidities. Cardiovascular diseases, cancers, liver disorders, mental stress-related disorders, etc. are on a huge rise around the globe. And simple magic bullet discovery, just like what they have been doing in the case of COVID-19 by developing some vaccines, is not a remedy for all those things. What else is the remedy is actually the search is happening around the globe, and many a time they are coming back to the oriental wisdoms like Ayurveda. And we can see that such a rise in the demand for Ayurveda, but we are actually unable to create those talents which were deep rooted in Ayurvedic wisdom, also capable of enhancing the new technological growths for utilizing this scenario. And we can see that the Ayurveda being a very much personalized, precise medicine, it is being valued across the globe like that. When you go to the websites of big universities like, say, Stanford University or California University or Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute like that, they are now trying to discover this personalized precision medicine through genomics, etc. But for us, we can see that for the past 5,000 years or so, we are here in the subcontinent watching the epidemics, different diseases of the populations happening here through a very personalized mechanism. In short, what I want to portray that we are having immense potential regarding this personalized and precision medicine. But we fail to bring that knowledge into the training of doctors. And as an academic and as an organization leader who represents the academicians, what I want to say is that if we want to bring palpable changes in the way Ayurveda is being propagated and practiced around the globe, and especially in India, we need to have sweeping changes in the academic sector. And regarding the production of good doctors, good postgraduates, good researchers, the first and foremost thing to keep in mind as a fundamental entity in Vision 2030, what I feel, as well as my association feels, that we should stop imitating the trends that are happening in the Western medicine for the very beginning. Because when during the past decade or so, we were seeing that various measures which are being taken up for improving Ayurvedic education is actually a mimic of what had happened in the Western sector. But now I feel some changes are happening too. First of all, in our curriculum, we see that even in the graduation period, where the students, the basic students, are being nurtured, there is a lot of facts which are not directly contributing to being a simple clinical practitioner. A lot of investigative technologies, or say, or some Western medicine concepts are being brought into our syllabus without proper integration. So what happens is that a student who is coming to us after a study of +2 in a westernized system, when they come to us and start learning Ayurveda, they get more focused towards the Western practices of learning rather than learning the good foundations of Indian medicine. So first of all, I join to the statement of my previous speakers who focused on the fact that basically a BAMS graduate should be a family medicine practitioner. True. We should prepare a graduate practitioner to assess the problems happening in the family level. He should address the basic pediatric issues, he should address the basic gynecologic issues, and as well as geriatric issues, the general medicine issues, etc. And if needed, he is capable of referring them to a postgraduate physician. And regarding postgraduate training also, we need sweeping changes there also. Why? Because many of the syllabus portions which we see in post-graduation is not actually contributory to what is actually needed today. For example, in the Dravigunam postgraduate syllabus, I am sorry to say that there is only one single area or one single sentence added regarding the medicinal plants cultivation. And I seriously doubt that almost all the Draviguna postgraduates are trained to identify, taxonomize the medicinal plants, which can actually be done by a botanist. And if you try to search a Draviguna postgraduate with sufficient knowledge in cultivation, no chance at all. Why? Because they are not trained in that sector by means of agriculture experts. So in such a way, if you focus on many postgraduate education syllabuses which are running in India as part of the CCM syllabus, we can see that there are certain discrepancies which need to be addressed. And I have got a slight opinion difference when coming to the creation of super specialized courses. Why? Because around the globe, the trend is to reduce the super speciality. In the Mecca of Western medicine, like we see in the case of Oxford or in the case of US universities, they are now coming with fellowships. And our neighborhood country, Pakistan, has withdrawn the DM course in Western medicine, and they are trying to reduce the seats. Why? Because globally there is a trend towards practicing the holistic medicine. Whereas if we now try to aid the Western medicine in creating these super specialized courses like DM cardiology in Ayurveda, we will create a person who knows only about the Hridroga or cardiology in Ayurveda. Whereas our principle is against the same. So instead of creating such things, we need very broad-based specialists who know everything about, generally about the human body, or they are well-versed in Ayurvedic understanding of human body, yet they are very much focused to a subsystem. So a different type of postgraduate education or super specialized education need to be carved out. And finally, we want more in the research sector. As a part of that, we need good PhD departments or PhD syllabi, as well as postdoctoral research ones. As we can see in the case of Indian Institute of Science or some IITs, there are some fellowships like Prime Minister's InSpare Scholarship, and some good amount of scholarship or research fund is being allocated by different ministries. So I suggest the Ayush Ministry to allocate some good funds and good scholarships to those who are working for good research in Ayurveda too. So that will provide an impetus. And moreover, I may suggest one point in regarding the standard of education in this country. My previous speaker, Dr. Manoj Chaudhary, has pointed out to the fact that the private Ayurveda medical colleges are not up to the mark. So, to many a times it is true too. But what needed is actually we are insisting on a minimum standard regulation. We actually need maximum standards. The government can only ensure the minimum standards needed for the education. Instead, we should create new rankings in Ayurveda, the rankings of Ayurveda colleges, just like that we are doing in the case of a NAC accreditation like that. So such rankings will create competitiveness in between the colleges, and also they will try to increase the academic standards of each individual institute. And I also join to the concerns expressed by the chairman of Ayurvedic Teachers Association that the salary should be unified, the working climate should be enhanced for the good academics to come into the teaching sector of Ayurveda instead of going to other areas, so that Ayurvedic sector is boosted. And also regarding our training, one more important point to consider is to bring in experiential level training for Ayurvedic students. Experiential level training means we have to feel what we are studying. For example, we are studying a lot about the gunas, the karmas, etc. in Padartha Vijnana, as well as in basic principles, etc. And all through the years in clinical training also, we are focusing on identifying certain parameters to catch the doshas which are vitiated. But the student is being taught this more in a theoretical fashion. Instead, we should start guna-based or experiential-based learning in Ayurvedic sciences. And also, we should introduce more student-friendly textbooks. It's a very saddening fact that the same Charaka Samhita is being learned by BAMS graduates and MD postgraduates as well as the PhD students. They are learning it, but accommodating it in different ways. But if we provide more student-focused, learning-focused, enhanced textbooks, which can be produced by means of graphics and other associated technologies in new era, and also limit it to certain subsections, that will be proving more efficient. And finally, I want to say that if we are not opening good Ayurvedic medical colleges in Western countries, what a danger is waiting us, because in many of the countries, some people who are coming there and taking some training from India are going back and starting their own education institutions, and they are training certain quacks in that places. Instead, if government is taking a lead, government has taken a good lead by starting certain academic chairs in those places. And more than that, those academic chairs, holders of those academic chairs, those professors should take the lead and start good Ayurvedic medical colleges overseas too, so that good training can be enhanced, good training can be provided in overseas regarding Ayurveda too. So that will prove as a game changer in the manifestation and practice of Ayurveda all around the world. By saying this, I thank all the organizers for inviting me to deliver this small suggestions to this August session. Thank you all from behalf of Private Ayurveda College Teachers Organization.